Meet Smithy McSmithingson, a humble son of a smith with a remarkable talent for crafting. Today, he sets out to achieve his lifelong dream of owning his own castle. You may be wondering how a simple son of a smith could possibly become a lord of a castle. Well, in the previous video, you've seen Smithy earn a decent amount of pocket money. However, in this video, you will witness his impressive rise to power as he earns a gargantuan sum of dinars and fulfills his dream to become a true lord. Smithy faced a daunting challenge, as his skills lay solely on the field of smithing. To become a lord of a castle and lead an army, he needed to possess strong leadership skills, which he had no experience in just yet. However, before even considering the castle, Smithy knew he needed a more reliable source of income. Currently, the most valuable sword he could craft was only worth 5k, which would not be enough to sustain an army. To increase his revenue, Smithy decided to hire low-cost laborers. I looked up the blacksmiths in the encyclopedia, and I traveled around the map to pick them up. Welcome to slavery, welcome to the workforce, Boskaric and Dalibol. With the newly acquired smiths as my apprentices, the speed of our smithing practice would increase tremendously and lay the foundation of the Smithly Empire. Some of you guys suggested that I made javelins for easy profits. However, after spending a few evenings at the anvil, I couldn't bear the grind any longer and returned to my old reliable crafting longswords. Thanks for the tips, guys, but Smithy is a true blade master at heart.
Your weapon.
The newly discovered parts were significantly increasing the value of the swords, driving the price up rapidly to nearly 10k. After a little while, I managed to unlock the first weapon part that was made of fine steel, the fuller narrow warsword blade. That's a mouthful. I leveled up both Dalibol and Bosric's skills, and they both reached the level needed to be able to make fine steel. After crafting several more swords, we finally produced our first sword that was valued over 10k. Look at that! However, we knew that we still had a long way to go. I scoured the nearby villages to gather all the wood I could find. Good luck this winter, guys! And I went back to Seonan to keep grinding. I continued to unlock better and better parts, with the new blade types being particularly valuable. Bosaric was chosen in the smithing circle jerk to learn how to make Tabahaskane steel, the best type of steel available in the game, capable of producing the highest quality swords. After truly endless hours of grinding, I finally crafted the perfect sword. It was worth a whopping 38k. This was really the best we could get. The process was grueling, requiring a significant amount of materials, and it gave me repetitive strain injury, but the results were worth it. Now that we had mastered the art of crafting the perfect longsword, it was time to put our skills to the test and start producing a large quantity of them. However, this required even more refining of materials, so I had to spend even more time clicking away at the anvil to refine the necessary resources. After the tedious clicking, I successfully crafted 5 of the perfect longswords. I sold the first one in Seonan and used the money to buy a workshop and turn it into a smithy, of course. Unfortunately, the towns didn't have enough funds to buy more than one sword, so I had to travel to the different parts of the Botanian lands to sell the rest. While in Maranath, I ran into a man named Caladog, whom I vaguely remembered. Must have been a dream. With the knowledge to craft high-quality weapons and the steady income that they brought, I was one step closer to my dream of owning my very own castle. However, the road to success was far from over. In order to earn the trust of the Botanian lords and become a mercenary for their faction, I needed to level up my clan tier first. And to do that, I had to gain renown by proving myself on the battlefield and in tournaments. It was time to put my skills to the test and rise through the ranks to achieve my ultimate goal. This journey wouldn't be easy. I put a ton of focus points in leadership, so Smithy could become a true leader. After that, I recruited some new blood to fill the ranks. As I was lost in the thrill of smithing and the promise of future riches, I realized I had neglected my loyal companions. With my newfound wealth, it was time to show them some appreciation. I journeyed back to the town to equip Smithy and his fellow warriors with the finest weapons and armor that money could buy. But I didn't stop there. I crafted custom signature swords for both Smithy and Boskaric, fit for true warriors. However, I couldn't bear the thought of spending more endless hours clicking away at the forge, so yeah, the other guys were just getting cheap swords. From here on out, it was all about honing our combat skills, by taking down bandits and emerging victorious in tournaments, to gain the renown necessary to be accepted as a vassal to the Botanian lords. While I had already reached clan level 1, I couldn't join Caladog as a mercenary yet, who would only consider hiring me as a mercenary when the kingdom was at war. So I went around and kept killing bandits and bashing arenas. Oh yeah, and in the second round of the tournament in Seonin, I lost. In my own hometown. That's so sad. I ventured to Sturgia, a land overrun by bandits ready to kill them all for renown. After a lot of battles, I crossed paths with Radagos, who held the key to my brother's whereabouts. As it would turn out, my brother would play an essential role in Smithy's future, but my priority at the time was speaking to Caladog. Finally, my chance came when Caladog offered me a mercenary contract for his faction, promising me 130 dinars for each party defeated. Yep, that wasn't much, but I accepted, recognizing that working with Caladog was a necessary step on the path to acquiring my very own castle. Caladog enlisted my help to collect taxes from his villages, and being the obedient soldier that I am, I obliged. I visited the towns and demanded the tax money for the villagers, and if they couldn't pay the full amount, I chipped in with my own funds to ensure Caladog got his share. This way, both the villagers and Caladog were content, and I had enough money to pay for it. Shortly after collecting the taxes from the villages, I received an invitation to participate in my first siege. This was an excellent opportunity to enhance my reputation with my newfound allies, which might help me acquire a castle. It was a bit of an odd battle, as my allies' AI didn't know what to do. Nevertheless, we won the fight, so that's fine. I traveled around with my companions for a while when we encountered a large enemy army, and the battle commenced. The fight was chaotic, and it took place on hilly terrain. Despite having a cavalry squad, I took matters into my own hands and F1, F3'd into the enemy, and we won! During the following siege, the enemy forces were so outnumbered that I simply auto-resolved the battle. After that, I became a bit distracted and decided to search for Thul the Golden, a highly skilled companion. After locating him in Amitatis, whatever, I recruited him to join our party. Welcome to the team, Thul. With that taken care of, it was time to rejoin the army. While on my way to the army, I stumbled across a wolfskin mercenary band. Despite being outnumbered, I refused to back down and pay them off. Instead, I accepted the battle and quickly assessed the terrain. I spotted a hill on my side and I positioned my archers to take advantage of the higher ground. I put the infantry in front of them to protect them. When the wolfskins attacked, I ordered the infantry to engage, while the archers provided cover fire from above, which proved to be highly effective. Upon arriving at the army, I discovered that an enemy lord was in close proximity. Taking advantage of the opportunity, I managed to corner him and provoke a small battle. I suddenly noticed the presence of a stunningly beautiful woman on my side. Oh my buttery lord, who is she? During the fight, both sides clashed on the bridge, and I strategically positioned the archers at the side of the bridge to rain down arrows upon them. The result was a bit of a slaughter, to say the least. The Battanians made peace, and I was left without any more opportunities for war experience, exploits, or reputation. The best course of action now was to participate in some more tournaments. So that's what I did. After winning yet another tournament, with no more war to fight and reputation to earn, I decided it was finally time to search for my brother. I handpicked 10 of my best men and set out to the hideout where I believed he was held captive. We fought our way through the bandits one by one until their leader appeared. He challenged me to a duel. We eventually found my brother and rescued him. This was a long-awaited reunion. I leveled up my brother's stewardship skill, but being a scrub at Bannerlord, I didn't know how to invite him to join the party just yet, so I just decided to go on adventures for Caladogo and help in the war instead. After a little while, I managed to invite my brother to the party and appointed him as a quartermaster. To my amazement, his exceptional ability almost doubled the number of troops our warbands could have. This was a true game changer. With this newfound capacity, I could now lead a formidable party of 85 troops. This was so freaking exciting. With the return of my brother, I was reminded of the significance of family, and it got me thinking about the one who had stolen my heart, Corin. Driven by the passion to find her, I set out on a quest, only to learn that she was none other than the daughter of Caladog. Without hesitation, I paid a pricely sum of 50k of my hard-earned smithing money to secure my place in her life. With this move, I was certain to earn the favor of Caladog, and there was no stopping me from achieving my heart's desire. Despite my efforts, I could not locate my newlywed wife even after consulting the encyclopedia that told me she was in Maranath. After much fruitless searching, I resigned myself to the fact and returned to the battlefield. I had to keep fighting to level up my clan and become eligible for vassalage. As fate would have it, I soon found myself in the midst of a fierce battle alongside Caladog himself. The battle was a bit messy, but we somehow managed to get the high ground and claim victory. Caladog praised our success and I felt a rush of pride. Our achievement was significant and it boosted my clan to a higher tier, and it gave me the ability to lead an even bigger army of 110 people. This was truly amazing. But the biggest surprise came when I mustered the courage to ask Caladog if I could join him as a vassal. To my astonishment, he granted my request immediately, and he even offered to lend me troops and gave me a new sword called the Reaper. While not as impressive as my favorite self-made sword, Leonard, I just wore it while Caladog was watching. I finally achieved my goal of becoming a true vassal of the Batanians. It was a remarkable accomplishment, but I knew that the real work was just beginning. I had to prove my loyalty and demonstrate my worth in battle. If luck was on my side, perhaps Calaboyo would reward me with a castle. It was a daunting task, but I was determined to give it my all. I headed north and came across an ally in dire need of help. They were heavily outnumbered in battle. The fight took place on hilly terrain and we had the advantage due to the large number of archers in our group, so I commanded them on top of the hill. Unfortunately, the enemy had their shields up, so our arrows were not very effective. Without hesitation, I took charge and ordered the cavalry to charge forward. This threat broke the enemy formation and caused them to catch the arrows and suffer heavy losses, essentially crushing their chance of winning the battle. And then it finally happened. Makalovea Castle, which has recently been conquered by the Batanians, was now up for a vote. I found myself in a neck-on-neck race with Prindor and even Caladog himself for ownership of the castle. Determined to increase my chances, I used up all my influence points that I just earned in the battle with Caladog to give myself that extra edge. And to my amazement, it worked! I was now the proud owner of my very own castle. Just take a look at it. It's beautiful. Wish my wife was here. Still can't find her. This was the truly inspiring tale of Smithy McSmithingson, who started out as a humble blacksmith and rose to become a castle-owning lord. It's just unfortunate that his wife was still missing. Oh well, I hope you guys enjoyed this story as much as I did, and if you want to see more, don't forget to like and subscribe for future content. See ya!